Hi, you must be from W.
At the age of 102, Iris Apfel stands out as one of those rare women who just won't rest. Not only is she one of the most brilliant businesswomen of her time, but also a spectacular fashion icon with her bold glasses and her vibrant wardrobe.
I guess I was born with it.
At 96 years old, Iris Apfel became a household name and icon in fashion.
But how does she still manage to get so much done? Well, she avoids 3 foods, and according to her, that's the ultimate secret to her century-long life. In this video, we'll talk about the 3 foods Iris Apfel would never want to see you eating if you want to be anything like her. The 3 things Apfel will never eat.
I originally wanted to go into fashion. Those days, Vogue ran a Prix de Paris contest. The first prize was a year's job at their Paris office, and that was what I drooled over. I didn't win it, but I didn't care because the war came and they closed the office.
In a 2017 interview, she spilled the secrets to her longevity. Firstly, a healthy diet is very important for her, and she maintains this by avoiding junk food at all costs. This self-imposed rule has proper scientific backing, considering that most fast food options are saturated with salt and brimming with carbohydrates. As these foods are broken down in the body, they unleash a surge of sugar into the bloodstream, resulting in elevated blood sugar levels. Over time, you could be facing several health risks, including the onset of diabetes and hypertension. Extensive research has drawn a clear connection between this condition and the development of coronary heart disease. The National Health Service recommends that adults restrict their daily sugar intake to 30 grams, which equals around 7 sugar cubes. Iris takes this seriously, so the second thing she will never consume is soda. Carbonated beverages have a crazy high sugar content, and the misconception that they induce a feeling of fullness has been debunked by scientific studies.
I don't think much about age, it just happens. I'm lucky to be there to capture it. A sense of humor is absolutely necessary. I don't mean a ha-ha sense of humor, but I mean being able to look at all the silly little things and how foolish they are, and how many important things we really don't pay enough attention to. You've noticed I'm not a minimalist. I like all kinds of stuff, and I enjoy being able to put it together. More is more, and less is a bore is much more sensible. I never subscribed to the theory that less was more. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like having less money makes you richer.
The third rule she has in place for herself revolves around the consumption of alcohol. While it is common knowledge that excessive alcohol intake is bad for one's health, not everyone knows that moderate alcohol consumption can have its benefits. Apfel doesn't drink all the time, but she consumes alcohol sometimes. In her case, this occasional indulgence might be reducing her susceptibility to heart disease. According to the British Heart Foundation, moderate alcohol consumption lowers the risk of coronary heart disease, particularly among men and older women. A study from the Irish Independent even suggests that men who enjoy 2 pints of beer before tackling a brain puzzle show improved performance on the cognitive task.
Be an individual and not to follow the crowd.
Apfel has also been very open about her former tobacco habit, having once smoked 4 packs of cigarettes daily. But those days are gone, as she soon decided to quit. One might think that since she's making healthy decisions, she may be doing everything by the book. But that's not true. She revealed that she does not engage in regular exercise, which actively deviates from what people normally do when they're living a healthy life.
I never meant to be an icon. I never thought I'd be an icon. And then they made me one, so it was really a major accident.
It's no accident. Iris has fans of all ages worldwide. Her exciting career began when she was an interior decorator designing the homes of the rich and famous.
According to doctors, if you're not physically active, it can heighten blood pressure and pose a genuine risk of cardiovascular disease. Exercise also releases endorphins, the body's natural mood lifters, contributing to a sense of well-being. But don't worry, whatever Iris lacks in terms of exercise, she makes up for it with her exceptional routine. Everything she eats in a day. Iris Apfel kickstarts her morning at 9 a.m. sharp almost every day. There are no exceptions to this particular detail. She doesn't try extra hard to wake up too early, but you'll never find her sleeping in late either. This is very different from what most health-oriented people think. They believe that if you're not waking up at 6 in the morning, you're doing something wrong. However, Iris always sets realistic goals for herself. As long as she's getting in the hours, there's nothing wrong with waking up at a comfortable time.
I never knew what I was going to do next. I have never had a plan about anything. Things just happened. And some things I took advantage of and some I didn't. But it was fun. I think you have to be original, but not original to the point where you're nutsy. I think you have to be true to yourself. You have to know yourself, not be a trend follower. You've got to learn to take a few risks.
For breakfast, she has a modest serving of freshly squeezed orange juice and a comforting bowl of hot cereal. This can induce stuff like oats, grits, or cream of wheat. Completing this morning ritual is a cup of decaffeinated coffee accompanied by steaming skim milk. In Apfel's world, both her midday and evening meals typically feature a serving of white fish or another lean variety of meat, complemented by a lot of vegetables. For dessert, she opts for the pure goodness of fruit, except watermelon. With food, she has a set pattern and routine that she doesn't like to break. In turn, she can maintain high standards when it comes to her diet.
I advise them to get to know themselves and try to become an individual, and so they can make their own decisions and not look like everybody else.
Ground hamburger meat doesn't make it onto her grocery list. Instead, she chooses a quality steak and grinds it herself at home. During the holiday season, you might even spot her savoring a slice of pumpkin pie. While she tries to avoid sugar entirely, everybody can make exceptions for special occasions. And don't worry, if she temporarily breaks one of her rules, she makes up for it in other departments. Her awareness of the benefits of turmeric dates back decades, and she stands resolutely against the ebb and flow of dietary trends. She believes that they're all a bit crazy because, for her, the essential of a balanced diet is rooted in the simple wisdom of knowing when to step away from the table. She is always skeptical when it comes to consuming raw fish and uncooked meats, a perspective shaped by the cholera epidemic she witnessed in Naples, Italy, 4 decades ago. This was linked to the consumption of mussels, and while she acknowledges that some meats are safe to eat uncooked, you should rather be cautious than regret the consequences of eating something contaminated. Cooking meats is essential to get rid of the terrible germs they harbor so that you can ensure that the food you eat is as clean as possible.
But it's a dreadful, dreadful disease for a lot of young people. They live vicariously through social media. They don't develop any social skills.
As a whole, Apfel enjoys meals that are skillfully made. She doesn't like it when the food is drenched with sauce. Rather, she enjoys authentic flavor. Apfel claimed that some people believe she doesn't eat enough, but she simply thinks that moderation is better than excess. If you overeat the wrong kind of food, your body will face the consequences of that. And Apfel doesn't like that thought. She thinks of her body as a fine-tuned machine and believes that the way it functions depends almost solely on the kind of fuel you put into it.
When it came time to actually wear glasses, I said, if I'm going to wear glasses, I'll wear glasses. Everybody wanted to know, why did I need such large glasses? I mean, what business is it of anybody?
Interestingly, Apfel does not rely on dietary supplements, nor does she waver from her customary food choices while traveling. When asked if she has any preferred restaurants, go-to meals, or food recommendations, she always frankly considers it a silly question. She goes on to emphasize her abstention from junk food, excessive salt, and sugary sodas. These are the things she would simply never have. But here's the thing, she makes it clear that she can't tell anyone what to do. All of the things she talks about are her personal preferences, and in her opinion, everyone should look for things that work for them. But does it ever surprise you just how well this woman has maintained herself? It amazes everybody. Lifestyle. Even amid her busy life, Apfel continues to radiate with vibrant skin, boundless energy, and laughter that's as contagious as her one-of-a-kind style. For most of this vitality, she gives credit to her straightforward approach to life. While her fundamental outlook on the world remains unchanged, Apfel acknowledges that her eating habits have evolved over the past several years. Yes, she wasn't always as careful with her food as she is today. Reflecting on her younger years, she recalled her adventurous spirit and traveling experiences alongside her husband. They were true culinary explorers, leaving no dish untried. Her husband was amazing when it came down to preparing an omelet, a skill he acquired from their close friend and La Guenouille founder, Charles Masson.
And then we did some really magnificent jobs. We did much of the work in the White House, textiles, of course. Nobody decorates the White House. That has to be exactly as it was. You never do what you like, even if it's prettier or better. You must do it as closely as possible to the way it was done originally.
However, the couple didn't find themselves cooking regularly, giving their demanding work schedules and erratic hours. After Apfel hit that century mark on her life's journey, she decided to make significant changes to her dietary choices. She started gravitating towards simplicity, preferring unadorned fare. She did not like full plates of food that was served in abundance. Rather, she enjoyed smaller portions, as bigger portions would intimidate her and wouldn't necessarily appetize her either. A lot of her habits of today are informed by the way she grew up and the things she learned along the way. Apfel's journey. Recognized as a fashion and design luminary for countless decades, she has the most illustrious past as the former proprietor of Old World Weavers, a distinguished textile company that received commissions from 9 consecutive U.S. presidents. Her distinctive personal style took center stage in an exhibit held at the Metropolitan Museum of Arts. But despite her demeanor being lively and effortless, she will always tell you that aging is no catwalk. The trick is to keep pushing yourself and sticking things back together. Staying active and engaged is the key to never giving up, even when you feel like your body is giving up on you. When your mind is occupied, those aches and pains don't seem as prominent. The one thing that she's truly thankful for is that she has always been someone who loves staying busy. She feels blessed to have a multitude of opportunities at this stage in life. She's got a makeup collection with MAC, while she's also working on eyeglasses for iBobs. You'll even find her on Home Shopping and Ukes. And believe it or not, she's a professor at the fashion school at the University of Texas at Austin. Despite staying so busy and getting so much done, she still looks graceful. How does she do it? She's got several things for you to take note of. Aging gracefully. Achieving the point where you look graceful even when you're old is hard, but Apfel has simplified it. It's all about maintaining a light touch when it comes to makeup. Heavy layers and excessive powder can seep into your fine lines, and the last thing you want are those dreaded turtle eyelids, aging you 10 years beyond your real age. It's crucial not to desperately chase after youth. You don't need to transform into an old lady either. You just need to understand that beauty isn't limited to any particular age. Apfel exemplified it by saying that trying to mimic a spring chicken when you're not can often result in looking absurd. Retirement, in Apfel's world, is anything but a slowdown. To this day, she remains a familiar presence at esteemed events like the Met Gala and New York Fashion Week. Furthermore, the literary world has been enriched by her contributions, with March marking the release of her compendium of illustrated musings and insights. Iris Apfel, Accidental Icon. Found this video helpful? Give it a like and subscribe to our channel.